What's up, yo? Thanks for stopping by. Wanda Vision. This is the fifth episode of season one, entitled on a very special episode. And not only can it be considered a special episode, but it was a very, very eye opening episode. Something that left my jaw dropped, and I'm like, what was that? What the F? You know what I mean? This episode, we see Wanda tending to her boys, her twins, trying to get them to sleep. Even her powers don't seem to do anything for it. And then all of a sudden, they grow 5 years. They happen to find a dog. They're trying to bathe the dog. And Wanda says to Vision, well, Vision actually hints a 10 is when the age is for them to have a pet. What do the twins do? They aged themselves 5 years, and now they're 10. And all this, of course, let's go to the. Before I continue with the episode, what I love about this is that we get a Family Ties inspired opening. I love that. One of my, favorite shows growing up. Well, I wasn't a kid. I was about a teenager when it came out. Family Ties with Michael Keaton and Justine Bateman and all. And you could definitely notice that. If nobody noticed that, I don't know where your eyes are at. I don't know if you forgot how remember that iconic opening where someone's painting the family, right? There's no mistaking that, and that's great. It's a really great homage to that classic series, and I loved it. Now let's talk about Agnes. When they were talking about the twins, all of a sudden she's like, do you want to start it over? They're like, huh? Do you want to start that over? We could do it over again. You want me to hold the kids? It's like, so she's in on it because they are casted, to start off with, they are cast in those roles. But it's really weird how she's just breaking the fourth wall and doing that. We do get a kind of a backstory. I mean, the agents, they know about her, especially their director, and her history is her parents died when she and her brother were 10, and she was born in 89. And although a victim at first, they're now seeking her out as the victimizer. And we all realize and know that she is controlling things. Now, find out that she took possession of Vision's body 9 days prior. And then we see that Vision is noticing Wanda is using her powers out in the open with Agnes there. She's saying that Agnes didn't notice that. You know. And like I said, they go from 5 to 10 because they want to have a child. I mean, not have a child. The kids want to have a puppy. Now, going back to the SWORD agents, and Monica is willing to return to Wanda's world, kind of risking it. Pretty much from what happened last time, she was sent through the house, through the house, through the fence. But Monica insists that, if she would have, she's made sure that she wasn't hurt. After all, she did land in some grass, so. But then again, going through the building, going through the fence, I mean, that done some damage. I don't think Wanda was looking to. I think it's just a thing of Monica just happened to fall the way she did, and she didn't really get seriously hurt. Now, we see Vision at his work, and he receives a communique regarding the Maximoff anomaly on the computer screen. Which, by the way, when they booted up the computer, it's an old school dial-up sound, because of course it's from the early 80s, so you see the old big old screen, bulky, green with lettering on it, green screen with the back screen with the lettering on it, and then the Norm, his co-worker, is like, he's talking like how he is in character, and all of a sudden when Vision puts his fingers on either side of his head, Norm's head, he breaks out of character and he starts you know, control. He warns Vision that she's in, everything we know. She's in control. She's doing this. She's not. I'm not allowed. I'm not able to say what I want to say. He was even looking for his phone. Because he's in his mindset. He's back to, I guess, 2019 or 2020. You know. And then he gets sent back, and then he goes back into his scripted, pretty much scripted thing. And then we see Monica sending a droid into Westview, and Wanda controls them, and Wanda confronts them. She goes through the energy field. Before that, I'm thinking what she's gonna do next. And then Wanda walks through the that energy field, and issues them a final warning. And the menace and finality of her words to Monica and the Sword Agents was bone chilling. I'm like, she is a full blown villain in this. Like, she looks like. So, I wouldn't even want to F with her, I wouldn't want to mess with her. Those guys they're like seasoned agents, and they were all like just, even though they had their laser sights on her with their weapons, but they were still kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to pull this trigger. They'll probably just piss her off if they hit her. And then she's able to, because she pretty much says, that, she doesn't want them to change it. She doesn't want to change anything. This is her home, her life. Don't ever come bothering me again. She waves her hand, and then every one of their weapons points through the I call it the what's the guy, the director of Sword. And then when she goes through the energy shield, they all drop their weapons, or they all, all the laser sights are removed off of their command, their director. And then we see this Lagos commercial spot. I don't know the connection. I can't see the connection with anything. A lot of people do. Some of these are easy to figure out than most. But I was like, oh, okay. If I were to watch it again, I might understand what it's about, what connection it has to either Hydra or Shield or Sword, or the Avengers, whatever. You know what I mean? But we then find that Sparky is found dead. Sparky, got out of the house after Wanda opened the door. That's when she saw the droid coming her way, and Monica trying to talk to her. And then he's found dead, and then Agnes has him wrapped up in the blanket, and will Wanda fix this? And Agnes is there, and she hears all this, and it's weird how she seemingly breaks the fourth wall with Wanda's powers, and the fact that this is and the fact that this is Wanda's own sitcom. She knows. It's like, it's just weird. Like, you see Norm breaking only because of Vision, and then he goes back to his normal self, doesn't know nothing, but she seemingly does, And then when Vision gets home, he tells Wanda of Norm's incident and how he is in pain. Vision tells her she can't control she can't control him, and breaks up the Maximoff anomaly. What is the Maximoff anomaly? And they both, float into the air, and Vision doesn't remember who he is before Westview. He's pleading with her, yelling at her, telling her, what's this all about, and everything, And the thing about how the kids, when they found the dog that had died, the kids were like, can't you change this? And then they looked like they were about to, to advance maybe 5 more years, and she stopped them, and she said, not everything can be changed. Sometimes it is as it is. It is what it is. Now, as we go back to Vision and her arguing, and all of a sudden there's a doorbell. She goes, I have nothing to do with that. There's another doorbell. And then what happens is that she opens the door, and it's Quicksilver. But to me, it's not the Quicksilver that we've seen from the films. It's this Quicksilver from, well, not from the Avenger films, but it's the actor Evan Peters who played Quicksilver in, the X-Men films, the prequels, Days of Future Past, X-Men, You know, it's all, and he was in that, and I'm like going, yes, they didn't want to get the other actor, so they cut him. It's good to see Evan Peters. He's a great actor. I like him in everything he does, and he was the one thing that I liked about the X-Men film that he was in. I'm trying to remember what it was. X-Men Apocalypse. That was it. Now, he's the one thing that I liked about that film. And I always wondered if they were connected. They had the same thing, but I guess in somewhat they are. Yeah. Like I said, man, I'm not one of them people that are like so geeked out about Marvel and even DC for that matter. Even though I prefer DC over Marvel, but I like Marvel as well. But you know, so I'm not sure. I don't know because I know that they're trying to somehow bring X-Men into Marvel, and it just talks about them trying to do it with Wanda Vision. You know, you're gonna see characters, and this is a character. You know, Quicksilver, her brother Pietro. He shows up at the door, and he looks at Vision, and goes, "What's up with Mr. Popsicle or something like that? What's up, something like that." But it was funny. But now he's in the picture, so you know, this episode really was just like I said, eye opening. It was really, especially seeing Wanda and how she was, especially when she confronted the SWORD agents and Monica. I'm like, holy crap, dude! That's the Wanda that and we know that she's one bad, you know what, she really is powerful. But we've been seeing her in this mold, the way she has been so far this season. But we haven't seen, and I think this kind of reminds us of who she is, who Wanda Maximoff is. She ain't someone to be messed with, and gives a final warning to the SWORD agents: don't ever go into my world, don't ever try to find me and tell me this or tell me that. This is my life. And she pretty much went to the lengths. She got Vision's body and brought it back and somehow powered him up. And she's living this life. And now Vision is pretty much woken up now, and he's like going, this ain't right. What's going on? You're controlling people. You're not allowing them to be themselves. It's like, you think to yourself, man, it's like, what's going to happen in the next episode? And is there going to be an absolute break off between these two characters? Will she go to even, what kind of further lengths is she going to go to keep this going? It's really something when it comes to this show. It's better and better every week, every episode. You're wondering what's going to happen next. How is it going to end this season? And we see the introduction of Quicksilver. So looking at a way that they're getting the X-Men back into the Marvel universe. Kind of separated them from the 20th Century Fox X-Men that had nothing to do with their universe, but now they're incorporating them. So, let's see what goes on as we go on to episode 6 next week. But this was episode 5 of season 1, entitled, on a very special episode, and it was a very special episode. I loved it. I thought it was great. Loved the homage to Family Ties, and we'll see what happens next. So, but anyway, that's my video. And for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.